Lost time is life you never get back. That single truth should shake you. Every day you're given the same 24 hours, and what you do with them decides everything. Think about your mornings, your evenings, even the small gaps in between. How often do you catch yourself wasting time on things that don't matter? How many times have you promised yourself you'll get serious later, only to repeat the same cycle tomorrow? The hours you waste don't wait around. They leave quietly and permanently, and they never give you a second chance. What separates those who grow from those who stay stuck is how they treat those moments. This isn't about working nonstop, it's about choosing wisely. Every second you use with intention adds value to your life. Every second you waste takes it away. The question is simple. Are you respecting your time or letting it slip through your hands? Number one, take control of your time before someone else does. Time is the most precious thing you have. And if you don't take control of it, someone else surely will. Every day, the world is full of people, situations, and distractions, waiting to pull your attention away from what matters. If you are not careful, your life can be shaped by other people's priorities instead of your own. That is why the first responsibility of anyone who wants to live a meaningful life is to guard their time and use it wisely. If you don't, you'll wake up one day realizing that much of your life was lived for someone else's purpose. That realization is painful, but it's avoidable if you start today. Taking control of your time begins with awareness. You must see time for what it is: finite and limited. There are only 24 hours in a day, and no matter who you are, you don't get a second more. This simple fact is both sobering and empowering. It means you must decide what deserves those hours, and you must decide early before others make that choice for you. Many people drift through their days, allowing bosses, friends, social media, or even strangers to decide how their time will be spent. That is a life without control. The key is to step in and make your own rules about where your time goes. Think about how often people request your attention. They ask you to attend a meeting that doesn't matter. They want you to waste hours in conversations that go nowhere. They invite you into distractions that leave you empty. If you don't know how to say no, your life will be filled with obligations that steal your hours. You might think you're being kind or cooperative, but what you're really doing is surrendering control of the one resource you can't get back. Taking control of your time is not selfish, it's responsible. The truth is, no one cares about your time as much as you do. Others will take as much as you give them, so you must draw the line. Begin by asking yourself, what truly matters in my life? What goals, dreams, and responsibilities are worth the hours of my day? Once you know the answers, you can build your time around them. If you don't know your priorities, you can't control your time, because anything and everything will appear important. When your priorities are unclear, you will fall into the trap of saying yes to things that don't belong to you. The first step to control is clarity. Decide what matters most, and then organize your hours to serve that. Control also means structure. If you wake up without a plan, your day will be filled by default. That's why it is necessary to start each day with a clear schedule of what needs to be done. Even simple tasks, when placed in order, create momentum. By planning your day, you place a guard at the door of your time. It doesn't mean you never adjust or adapt, but it means you decide the direction, not someone else. Think about how many times you've ended a day wondering where the time went. That happens when you don't structure it. Control is never an accident. It is always the result of conscious planning. Another part of controlling your time is protecting it from distractions. We live in an age of constant notifications, endless entertainment, and people demanding instant responses. If you are not careful, your attention is scattered all day long. Each small interruption seems harmless, but together they rob you of hours. To take control, you must turn off what does not serve your purpose. You must choose when to respond, when to engage, and when to be unavailable. If you are always available to everyone, you will never have enough time for yourself. This requires discipline, but it also requires courage. Courage to say no. Courage to disconnect. Courage to put yourself and your goals first. Time also demands respect. If you treat your hours casually, others will too. If you arrive late, if you postpone without care, if you waste hours in meaningless activities, you are sending the message that your time doesn't matter. And when you act like it doesn't matter, people will treat it as though it doesn't. To regain control, you must start by respecting your own hours. Show up on time, keep your promises, finish what you start. The respect you give to time will teach others how to treat your time. Control of time also means control of energy. You cannot fill your day with exhaustion and expect to be productive. That is why rest, exercise, and self-care are essential. If you don't protect your body and mind, even the best schedule will fail. Taking control of your time includes deciding when to stop, when to recharge, and when to prepare yourself for the next challenge. People often burn out not because they don't have enough time, but because they misuse the time they have by ignoring their own well-being. Control is balance. It's knowing when to push and when to pause so you can keep moving forward. You must also understand the psychology of time. Many people avoid hard work today by convincing themselves they will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes a way of escaping responsibility. But the truth is, tomorrow is not guaranteed. If you keep pushing important actions forward, you are giving your time away to excuses. To control your time, you must face this mental game directly. Stop promising yourself a future you might never see. Do it today. Make the call now. Start the task now. Every delay is a surrender of control. Every excuse is a gift of your time to weakness. The strongest people are those who face today head-on and take action immediately. Taking control of your time also requires facing people who do not value it. There will be friends, family, and colleagues who demand more than they deserve. They will ask you to sacrifice your goals for their comfort. If you give in to every request, your time will no longer belong to you. It may feel harsh to refuse, but it is necessary. True respect for others comes from being honest. And honesty includes telling them that your time is valuable. If they cannot accept that, they are not truly respecting you. Guarding your time is one of the strongest ways you can guard your future. Consider what happens when you don't control your time. You become reactive. You live based on what others want. You go through days without progress, weeks without growth, and years without achievement. Life passes by, and you have nothing to show because you never directed your hours toward what mattered. That regret is heavy, and it grows heavier with age. People don't usually regret the things they did. They regret the time they wasted. If you don't want to live with that regret, control must begin now. Now think about the reward of taking control. When your time is yours, your life is yours. You feel stronger because you know where your energy is going. You feel proud because your days have purpose. You see progress because your hours are invested in things that matter. The satisfaction of ending a day, knowing you lived by choice, not by accident, is one of the greatest feelings you can experience. It builds confidence, it builds success, and it builds character. Taking control of your time before someone else does is not just advice, it is a demand if you want to live fully. It is about refusing to let life slip through your hands unnoticed. It is about facing the truth that time will pass whether you use it or not. And the only choice you have is whether it will pass in your favor. Every hour you spend is a vote for the person you want to become. Every distraction you avoid is a step toward that person. Every second you protect is a part of your future secured. So the question is, who owns your time today? Do you own it, or does someone else? If you want to change your life, begin by taking back your hours. Write down what matters, protect it fiercely, and live every day with the awareness that this is your life and no one else's. Your time is not free, it is not unlimited, and it is not replaceable. Take control of it now, because if you don't, someone else will. And when they do, your life will no longer be yours. It will belong to them. The choice is simple but powerful. Guard your time or lose it forever. Number 2, use pressure of limited time to act with urgency. Every person alive has the same truth hanging over them. Time is short. Most people act like they will live forever. But the truth is, we do not have endless days. The clock is always moving, and it does not pause for anyone. When you recognize that your time is limited, you begin to feel pressure. That pressure is not a curse, it is a gift. It forces you to act, to stop waiting, to stop drifting, and to finally move with urgency. Without that pressure, people waste their lives thinking they have tomorrow, next week, next year. They put off important decisions and critical actions, believing they can come back to them later. But later often never arrives. The weight of limited time is what pushes you to use today wisely. Urgency gives life to your goals. Think about what happens when you believe you have unlimited time. You delay, you lower your standards, you tell yourself you will do it eventually. That mindset is the reason people remain stuck in jobs they hate, relationships that hold them back, and habits that destroy them. They believe there is always more time to change, but when you face the truth that time is not guaranteed, you start to act differently. You stop taking hours for granted. You stop promising yourself tomorrow. You stop accepting wasted days. The reality of limited time removes excuses and brings clarity. Living with urgency does not mean rushing blindly. It means deciding quickly and acting directly. It means when you know what needs to be done, you do it without delay. Urgency eliminates procrastination. It sharpens your mind and makes you recognize what truly matters. A person who lives with urgency does not spend half their day distracted. They don't fill their hours with meaningless scrolling or idle talk. They direct their attention to tasks that build their future. They know every delay is a step backward, and every action is a step forward. The urgency created by limited time forces them to choose progress over comfort. Pressure can feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Growth never happens without pressure. Deadlines make you complete the project. Time limits push you to finish the task. Knowing your life is not endless pushes you to get serious about your purpose. When people avoid pressure, they avoid progress. They live soft, slow lives that lead to regret. But those who embrace the pressure of limited time discover strength, speed, and focus they didn't know they had. The person who acts urgently accomplishes more in a year than others do in 10. That is the difference urgency makes. Urgency makes your priorities real. If you only talk about what you want, you will drift forever. But when you treat time as limited, you start to make choices. You stop saying yes to distractions. You stop waiting for the perfect time to start. You stop lying to yourself that opportunities will always be there. Instead, you move. You take the first step. You apply for the position. You start the business. You learn the skill. Urgency does not allow endless hesitation, because hesitation kills dreams. The pressure of limited time silences hesitation and demands movement. Some people think pressure is unfair. They say it's stressful to feel the weight of time. But the truth is that stress is a signal you are alive and aware. A person with no urgency is asleep, numb to reality. Pressure is a reminder that your life matters and your actions count. Without it, you would live without care, and nothing meaningful would be built. Look at anyone who accomplished something significant. They all felt urgency. They all knew their time was limited. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They did not assume life would pause for them. They acted under pressure, and that pressure shaped them. You need to ask yourself how much of your day is spent with urgency. Do you wake up with purpose, or do you drift into the day? Do you attack your goals, or do you let hours slip away? Do you feel the weight of time, or do you pretend it is endless? Your answer will tell you how serious you are about your future. People who succeed understand that each second gone is gone forever. They live with urgency because they know there are no reruns. Every day is once only, and that belief drives them to act. Urgency also changes how you view opportunities. Many people wait too long. They think they can wait until they are ready, until they feel confident, until everything lines up. But opportunities do not wait. They pass quickly, and they rarely return. Urgency teaches you to seize them now, even if you are not perfectly prepared. It teaches you to stop overthinking and start doing. Because while you are thinking, someone else is acting. While you are hesitating, someone else is moving forward. The pressure of limited time keeps you from standing still while life moves on without you. Another truth about urgency is that it makes life meaningful. When you understand your time is limited, you start to value moments more deeply. You spend your hours with people who matter, You invest in experiences that enrich your life. You stop wasting years in jobs that crush your spirit. You stop tolerating relationships that hold you down. You stop filling your days with activities that mean nothing. Limited time forces you to choose carefully, and those choices create a life with depth and value. Urgency makes every decision count. You must also realize that urgency separates those who rise from those who remain average. Average people treat time casually. They are not in a hurry to grow, to learn, to improve. They keep saying they will start later. Winners understand there is no later, there is now. They feel pressure every day, but they use it as fuel. They are not careless with hours. They are not reckless with minutes. They guard their time, they move fast, and they refuse to waste opportunities. Their success is not luck, it is urgency, applied consistently. If you want to change your life, you must embrace this mindset fully. You must decide that your limited time demands urgency. You cannot drift anymore. You cannot wait for someone to push you. You cannot tell yourself you have forever. The truth is, you do not. Every day that passes is one less chance to build the life you want. That pressure must sit heavy on your shoulders, not to crush you, but to wake you. It must remind you that your chance is today, not someday. Think about the final day of your life. On that day, you will not care about wasted comfort, wasted scrolling, or wasted distractions. You will care about whether you used your time for what mattered. That vision should move you to urgency right now. Because if you wait until the end to feel that, it will be too late. The power is in acting today, with the pressure of that reality guiding you. The truth is simple. Pressure is not your enemy, it is your ally. Limited time is not something to fear, it is something to respect. Urgency is not stress without meaning, it is purpose with clarity. When you accept that time is short, you stop living small. You stop accepting delay. You stop making weak promises to yourself. You start moving. And with each urgent action, you build a life that counts. Your life will be measured by how you used your time. Not what you intended, not what you hoped, but what you did. Urgency ensures that you do more, give more, and live more while you can. The pressure of limited time is the voice telling you, do not waste another second. Listen to it, embrace it, and let it push you forward every single day.
Number 3, replace lazy comfort with actions that move life forward. One of the biggest traps a person can fall into is choosing comfort over progress. Comfort feels safe, it feels easy, and it feels pleasant in the moment, but it never moves you forward. Comfort is sitting on the couch when you know you should be studying. Comfort is scrolling endlessly when you should be building something important. Comfort is staying in bed when the alarm goes off and you have responsibilities waiting. Each time you choose comfort, you are delaying your growth. Each time you pick the easy path, you pay with your future. The truth is simple. Life rewards action, not comfort. Every day presents you with choices. You can do what feels good right now, or you can do what builds a better tomorrow. Most people fall into the trap of seeking immediate pleasure. They want to feel good instantly, and they sacrifice progress for it. They eat what tastes good instead of what fuels their body. They spend money on things that bring a quick thrill instead of investing it for the future. They use their time on entertainment instead of learning or building. The result is always the same: short bursts of comfort, but long seasons of regret. The person who replaces comfort with action builds a foundation that keeps paying back for years. Lazy comfort is addictive. The more you give in, the stronger it grows. You tell yourself just a little more rest, and soon it becomes a habit of avoiding effort. You say, I'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week, then next month, and finally never. The danger of lazy comfort is that it tricks you into believing you are okay, while slowly stealing your time, your energy, and your potential. The only way to break that cycle is to act even when you don't feel like it. You don't wait for motivation. You create it by moving. When you move, your body and mind follow, and the energy comes. Action is the antidote to laziness. When you start, even small steps, you create momentum. The hardest part of any task is the beginning. Once you begin, you realize it was not as hard as you imagined. Comfort builds resistance in your mind, making everything seem bigger than it is. Action shrinks the problem. When you choose action over comfort, you discover a strength you didn't know you had. You realize that progress feels better than laziness. Achieving feels better than avoiding. Building feels better than wasting. The satisfaction of completing something meaningful always outlasts the temporary pleasure of comfort. To replace lazy comfort, you need discipline. Discipline is doing what you know you should do, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is waking up when the alarm rings, not when you feel ready. Discipline is finishing the task before you relax. Discipline is choosing the book over the endless videos, the workout over the nap, the preparation over procrastination. Discipline hurts in the moment, but it builds pride that lasts. Comfort feels good for a few minutes, but it leaves you weaker. Discipline feels tough for a few minutes, but it leaves you stronger. The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is often this simple. One chose action, the other chose comfort. Look at the people you admire. Look at anyone who built a business, mastered a skill, or achieved excellence. None of them reached that point by living in lazy comfort. They pushed through discomfort daily. They acted when they didn't want to. They sacrificed relaxation for growth. They understood that progress requires effort, and they were willing to pay that price. Comfort never produces. Greatness is produced by consistent action, repeated daily, especially on the days when you least want to do it. You must also understand the hidden cost of lazy comfort. Each time you give in, you are training yourself to avoid responsibility. You are telling your mind that it is acceptable to ignore what matters. This habit grows silently until it becomes who you are. Then you wonder why success feels far away. You wonder why your goals remain unfulfilled. It is not because life is it is because you traded progress for comfort too many times. You built the habit of escaping instead of the habit of acting. The good news is, habits can be broken by choosing action over comfort again and again. You rewire your mind. You teach yourself to move forward no matter how you feel. The next time you face the choice between action and comfort, pause and ask, which one will I regret later? You will never regret working on your goals, studying, practicing, or pushing yourself. You will always regret wasting hours in laziness. That regret is heavy. It builds guilt, frustration, and self-doubt. By choosing action, you build pride, confidence, and momentum. Every action strengthens your belief in yourself. Every time you move forward, you prove that you are capable. That belief becomes a force that carries you to bigger achievement. Replacing lazy comfort also requires vision. You must know what you are working toward. If you don't have a clear vision, comfort will always win. Why sacrifice the easy choice if you don't know why? That is why you must set clear goals. Write them down. Remind yourself daily, and measure your progress. Each time comfort tempts you, look at your goals and ask which matters more. Comfort gives you nothing lasting. Goals give you a future worth living. Without vision, you will always trade long-term growth for short-term ease. With vision, you will push through discomfort because you see where it leads. Action also builds resilience. The more you choose action, the stronger you become. You learn to handle stress, to push through tiredness, to keep going when others stop. Comfort teaches weakness. Action teaches strength. Life will test you. It will bring difficulties, struggles, and setbacks. If you have trained yourself with comfort, you will crumble. If you have trained yourself with action, you will end. Your ability to handle life comes from the daily choice to move when comfort whispers to stay still. Remember that time is passing, whether you act or not. Comfort makes you believe that waiting is harmless, but waiting is costly. Every day wasted is a day you never get back. The difference between the life you want and the life you settle for is found in these choices. Replace lazy comfort with action, and you gain control of your future. Keep choosing comfort, and you lose it piece by piece. The power of action is that one day of action may not change everything, but 100 days will. A year of consistent action will transform your life. Each act builds on the one before it. That is why you cannot underestimate small steps. Comfort steals them. Action stacks them. Over time, that stack becomes unstoppable progress. That is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary results, by refusing to give in to comfort and replacing it with deliberate action, day after day. You do not need to feel ready to act. You do not need to wait until conditions are perfect. You simply need to move. The energy, the clarity, and the progress will come after you begin. Lazy comfort will always wait for you, but opportunities will not. Opportunities move, and if you are stuck in comfort, you will watch them pass. Action is how you catch them. Action is how you create them. The life you want is waiting, but it will not come to you while you sit in comfort. It will come only when you rise, work, and move forward. Replace every lazy habit with an act that builds your future. Replace every wasted hour with progress. Replace every excuse with discipline. Each time you do, you become stronger, more capable, and more prepared for the life you deserve. Comfort is easy, but it keeps you small. Action is hard, but it makes you powerful. Choose power, choose progress, choose action. Number 4, notice wasted minutes and turn them into useful progress. Most people believe they lose time in big pieces, but the truth is, time slips away in minutes. It disappears in the small gaps of the day. The waiting, the scrolling, the unnecessary pauses, the meaningless conversations, the endless checking. One wasted minute feels harmless. But when you add them up, you realize hours vanish without anything to show for them. The person who succeeds is not the one who has more hours than others. It is the one who notices the wasted minutes and turns them into useful progress. The secret is not about finding more time. It is about reclaiming the time you already have. Think about how much of your day is filled with small, empty spaces. Standing in line, sitting in traffic, waiting for someone to arrive, staring at a screen with no purpose. These are the moments people throw away. They sigh, they complain, they distract themselves with nonsense. Yet those same minutes could be used to learn a new idea, to strengthen the mind, to reflect, to plan, to practice discipline. Every time you use a wasted minute for something valuable, you are building an edge that compounds. Minutes multiply into hours, hours multiply into days, and days become achievements. The person who values minutes is the one who controls their future. It takes awareness to see where your minutes go. Many people live unconsciously, moving from one distraction to the next. They convince themselves they are busy. But when they step back, they realize much of their time is noise. Awareness means paying attention to small details, like how long you spend on your phone before bed, how many minutes you waste hitting snooze, how often you repeat habits that bring no value. These wasted minutes pile up. When you begin tracking them, the truth can feel uncomfortable. You see how much of your life is slipping away. But that discomfort is the beginning of change. Once you see the wasted minutes, you can reclaim them. Turning wasted minutes into progress does not require massive effort. It requires consistency. Use a 5-minute wait to review your goals. Use a 10-minute break to read a few pages of a book. Use a short walk to think about your next move. Use idle time to practice focus instead of seeking distraction. You do not need hours to improve. You need to use the minutes available. Each reclaimed minute is a victory. It tells your mind that time matters, that every piece of it can serve a purpose. That mindset builds discipline and momentum. People underestimate small actions because they think only big blocks of time create progress. They say, I only have 10 minutes, so it's not worth starting. That is wrong. 10 minutes of focused effort is worth more than an hour wasted in distraction. 10 minutes of practice each day builds skill faster than doing nothing until the perfect time arrives. Waiting for big windows of time is the mistake. Using small windows is the solution. Successful people master this. They treat minutes as opportunities, not leftover. They act in short bursts, and those bursts accumulate into meaningful progress. Another way to reclaim wasted minutes is to plan them. You in advance what you will do when small gaps appear. Carry a book, write a list, have a task ready. When you prepare, you turn waiting into action. Without preparation, wasted minutes will always fill with the easiest distraction. Preparation gives those minutes purpose. Imagine how much knowledge you could gain in a year if you replaced wasted scrolling with useful reading during idle time. Imagine the skills you could build if every short gap was used for practice instead of escape. These small choices transform ordinary days into productive ones. Wasted minutes also come from indecision. Many people spend far too long thinking about what to do instead of doing it. They hesitate. They analyze endlessly. They stall. This habit kills progress. Indecision's minutes that could be used for action. The way forward is to decide quickly and begin. Even if it is not perfect, action creates progress, while hesitation creates nothing. You must train yourself to reduce the time spent in doubt and increase the time spent in movement. This alone can save hours every week. You also need to protect minutes from being stolen. People will waste your time if you allow it. They will drag you into conversations that go nowhere, meetings that lack purpose, activities that do not serve you. Each time you allow this, you surrender your minutes. To reclaim them, you must set boundaries. Be willing to cut pointless discussions, decline empty invitations, and walk away from distractions. Respect for your own time teaches others to respect it too. When you protect your minutes, you create space for progress. Turning wasted minutes into progress is not only about productivity, it is also about growth. You can use these moments to strengthen your mind, to reflect on your choices, to build gratitude, to practice discipline. A few minutes of reflection can change the direction of your day. A few minutes of gratitude can shift your attitude. A few minutes of focus can reset your energy. These are not wasted, they are investments. Life is built in small pieces, and when you turn those pieces into growth, you create a life of meaning. You must remind yourself often that minutes are not free. Every minute spent is gone forever. You cannot buy it back. You cannot borrow more. If you waste it, it is lost. If you use it, it serves you. This awareness should make you careful with how you live. Too many people wake up years later and realize they gave away their time in small, unnoticed ways. They regret the hours lost to meaningless distractions, the days lost to laziness, the years lost to waiting. Regret is always heavier than discipline. That is why the best time to notice wasted minutes is now. The truth is, you don't need more time. You need to use the time you already have. You need to recognize that life is built minute by minute, and in one of those minutes can either serve you or work against you. The choice is always yours. You can ignore the small pieces and watch your life slip away, or you can claim them and watch your life move forward. Progress is built not only in big leaps, but in consistent steps, and each step happens in a minute you chose to use wisely. When you treat minutes as valuable, everything changes. You stop saying you don't have time. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop excusing wasted days. Instead, you see that progress is possible in every moment. You see that your life can move forward even in the smallest window. You see that your future depends on how you use the pieces of time others throw away. The difference between wasted minutes and useful progress is awareness, discipline, and choice. Choose to notice, choose to act, and choose to build your life minute by minute. Number 5, stop lying to yourself about having more tomorrow. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that they have more time tomorrow. They convince themselves that tomorrow will be the day they start eating better. Tomorrow will be the day they begin saving money. Tomorrow will be the day they chase their dream. Tomorrow will be the day they finally get serious. This lie feels comforting in the moment because it takes away the pressure of acting today. But the truth is that tomorrow is never guaranteed. The only time you can control is today. And when you delay, you give away your most valuable chance. Every wasted today becomes a wasted tomorrow. You keep pushing things forward thinking you will have more energy, more motivation, more clarity in the future. But when tomorrow arrives, it looks exactly like today. You feel the same. You think the same. You face the same distraction. If you could not take action today, what makes you think tomorrow will be any different? Nothing changes until you stop lying to yourself about having more time and start acting with urgency. Life will always present excuses, but excuses will never produce results. The danger of promising yourself more tomorrow is that it becomes a habit. You don't even realize you're doing it because it feels harmless. You say you will start later, and in the moment, it relieves guilt. But when you repeat that pattern, you wake up weeks, months, even years later with nothing to show. That is how dreams die. Not with a single failure, but with constant delay. The lie of more time kills ambition silently. By the time you recognize it, much of your life has already passed. Facing this truth is uncomfortable because it removes the shield of procrastination. If you can no longer say, "I'll do it tomorrow," then you are left with the responsibility of doing it today. That is difficult because action demands effort. It demands discomfort, risk, and discipline. But that discomfort is far smaller than the regret you will feel if you keep waiting. Regret is heavier than any sacrifice required to act today. The people who achieve their goals are not the ones who had more time. They are the ones who refuse to lie to themselves about having more. Think about the opportunities you have already lost because you believed tomorrow would be better. The conversations you never had, the chances you didn't take, the work you postponed, the health you ignored, the relationships you neglected. Each of those could have been different if you acted earlier. That is the cost of the lie. It is not just about wasted time. It is about wasted opportunities that may never return. Life does not wait. If you delay, someone else will take the chance you ignore. To stop lying to yourself, you must train your mind to focus on the present. Ask yourself, what can I do right now? Even if it is small. Progress begins with small actions taken today, not large actions postponed until later. You don't need to finish everything in one day, but you need to start. Starting builds momentum, and momentum makes tomorrow easier. Waiting makes tomorrow harder. The moment you stop telling yourself you have more time, you begin to value each day for what it is, a one-time chance that will never come again. Another reason people lie to themselves about tomorrow is fear. They fear failure, judgment, or discomfort. So they push action away. They tell themselves tomorrow will be safer. But fear does not shrink with time. It grows. The longer you wait, the bigger the fear becomes. The only way to reduce fear is to act despite it. The courage to act today is what builds strength for tomorrow. If you wait until you feel no fear, you will wait forever. Discipline is the weapon against the lie of tomorrow. Discipline forces you to move when you want to delay. Discipline is what wakes you up, gets you working, keeps you focused. Discipline means you don't trust tomorrow. You trust today. It means you hold yourself accountable in the present, not in the future. Discipline builds self-respect because you prove to yourself that your words mean something. Without discipline, your promises are empty. With discipline, your actions align with your goals. Look at the people who live with regret in later years. Ask them what they wish they had done differently. And most will tell you they wish they had not waited. They wish they had started earlier, moved faster, acted sooner. No one says they are glad they delayed. Delay only creates loss. The pain of inaction is sharper than the pain of effort. You must decide whether you want the short discomfort of effort today or the long suffering of regret tomorrow. Life has a way of reminding us that time is short. Illness, accidents, and sudden changes all show us that we do not control how long we have, but you do control how you use the time in front of you. The lie of more tomorrow makes you passive, but the truth of limited time makes you active. When you embrace the truth, you stop wasting hours on nonsense. You stop postponing goals. You stop living as if life is endless. Instead, you live fully today, because you know it is all you are promised. You must hold yourself accountable for this lie. Each time you catch yourself saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," challenge it. Ask, why not today? What am I gaining by waiting? The answer is always the same. Nothing. Waiting gives you nothing but delay. Acting gives you progress. Even small progress today is worth more than promises of large progress tomorrow. Small actions build habits, and habits build results. Waiting builds nothing. When you stop lying about tomorrow, you also start to respect yourself more. Each day you act, you build confidence. You prove to yourself that you can rely on your own word. You stop being the person who makes excuses and start being the person who delivers. Confidence does not come from talking about what you will do. It comes from doing it now. The respect you want from others begins with the respect you earn from yourself. And that starts by honoring today instead of postponing it. The truth is not comfortable, but it is liberating. You do not have forever. You may not even have tomorrow, but you have right now. And that is enough. You have the power. Power change your life today. You have the choice to move, to start to act. Stop lying to yourself that the future will save you. The future will only reflect what you did today. If you want a different tomorrow, it begins with action now. Waiting will never create it. The moment you accept this, your life changes. You begin to value hours differently. You cut out wasted time. You use your energy with focus. You make progress because you refuse to let today slip away. That is how transformation happens. Not with vague promises of more time later, but with the discipline to act in the present. Stop lying to yourself, and you free yourself. You free yourself from procrastination, from fear, from regret. You step into the truth, and the truth is that today is all you need to begin building the life you want. Number 6, value 1 hour today, more than 10 hours later. Most people live under the illusion that more time later is more valuable than the time they have right now. They believe that if they had a big stretch of hours in the future, they could finally get serious, finally get productive, finally make progress. They delay action today because they tell themselves tomorrow or next week will give them more space. But the truth is that one focused hour today is worth far more than 10 hours postponed into the future. The reason is simple. Today is real. Today is guaranteed. Today is here. The future is uncertain, and no amount of promised time later can equal the impact of time used now. When you act today, you create momentum. You plant seeds that begin to grow immediately. You build discipline, and you prove to yourself that you are serious. Waiting for 10 hours later means you gain nothing now. You stay in the same place, stuck in the same habits, believing that more time will solve your problem. But more time later is often wasted the same way as the hour you neglected today. People who wait for perfect conditions rarely act when they arrive, because the habit of delay has already taken over. The person who uses the hour now, even if small, always moves ahead. The value of an hour today is also psychological. When you take action right now, you strengthen your identity. You tell yourself that you are someone who moves, someone who acts, someone who follows through. That builds confidence and trust in yourself. By contrast, when you postpone for later, you weaken your belief. You reinforce the idea that you can delay, and that delay becomes easier each time. The gap between intention and action widens. Soon 10 promised hours mean nothing, because you never actually use them. 1 hour today builds the habit of movement, and habits are what carry you to success. Think about how much can be accomplished in an hour. In 1 hour, you can write a chapter, complete a workout, study a new skill, make important calls, organize your finances, or reflect deeply on your goals. 1 hour is not small if you use it with focus. The problem is not the lack of hours, it is the lack of respect for the hours you have. Most people let an hour pass without even noticing. They scroll, they talk, they distract themselves, and then they complain that they do not have time. The truth is they have time. They just don't use it. An hour today also carries the weight of compounding. Action taken now grows into results that accumulate over time. If you study for an hour today, you are not only learning something, you are building a base for tomorrow's study. If you exercise for an hour today, you are not only moving your body, you are strengthening it for the next session. Every hour adds to the next, but only if you start now. Waiting for 10 hours later means you miss out on the compounding effect. Progress delayed is progress denied. Urgency plays a role here too. The reason 1 hour today is more memorable is because it is an opportunity that exists only once. Once it passes, it is gone. You cannot retrieve it. 10 hours promised tomorrow are not guaranteed. And even if they come, they cannot replace the hour lost today. People live as if hours are unlimited, but they are not. Time is the one resource you can never buy back. Respecting today's hour means respecting your life. Ignoring it means wasting the most limited thing you have. You also must recognize that energy and focus are higher when you act now. People think they will feel more ready later, but usually they feel less ready. Energy decreases when you delay. The longer you wait, the more excuses pile up, the more distractions appear, and the less motivated you become. An hour today, taken with energy, often accomplishes more than 10 tired, distracted hours later. That is why successful people act immediately. They do not trust later. They know their best energy belongs to now, and they use it. Another reason to value today's hour is the message it sends to your future. When you act today, you are investing in the life you want. You are saying to yourself, my goals matter right now. That commitment shapes the path ahead. If you keep postponing, your future receives nothing. You are essentially telling yourself that your goals can wait, and if they can wait long enough, they disappear. Many people wake up years later realizing they never valued their time when they had it. They dreamed of using 10 hours later, but they ignored the power of 1 hour today. Discipline is built in the present. It cannot be built in the future. The discipline you practice today is what allows you to handle bigger challenges tomorrow. If you cannot use an hour now, what makes you believe you will use 10 hours later? People who struggle with discipline imagine they need large amounts of time, but what they really need is consistency in small amounts. One disciplined hour today trains your mind, and once trained, you can handle more. The future belongs to those who master the present, not those who keep postponing it. You also must understand that life is unpredictable. You may think you will have 10 hours later, but unexpected events can take them away. Emergencies, responsibilities, interruptions. Life will always demand something. That is why relying on later is foolish. The only safe investment is the hour you have right now. If you use it, no one can take it from you. If you delay, you gamble with time you may never actually get. Wise people do not gamble with time. They guard it. The feeling you get from using an hour today is powerful. You feel accomplishment, control, and momentum. That feeling carries to the rest of your day. You are more likely to continue acting, more likely to stay focused, more likely to make progress in other areas. It is a chain reaction that starts with one choice. Wasting an hour today creates the opposite chain. You feel guilt, you lose focus, you delay more, and soon the whole day is gone. The direction of your day often comes down to how you use 1 hour. The difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck is not found in talent or luck. It is found in how they treat time. The successful use today, the unsuccessful wait for tomorrow. Success is not built in giant blocks of time. It is did in daily hours used wisely. 1 hour today is proof that you value your life, your goals, and your potential. 10 hours later is nothing more than a hope. And hope without action changes nothing. The truth is that your future depends on today. What you do now creates the conditions of tomorrow. If you use an hour today to learn, you are wiser tomorrow. If you use an hour today to build, you are stronger tomorrow. If you waste an hour today, you are weaker tomorrow. Time compounds, but only in the direction you choose. That is why 1 hour today carries far greater weight than many hours promised later. The choice is always there. You can waste today's hour waiting for later, or you can seize today's hour and create progress immediately. If you respect today, you shape tomorrow. If you ignore today, tomorrow becomes a repeat of today. Value 1 hour right now more than any promise of more later, because this hour is all you truly have. Once it is gone, it never returns. Treat it as priceless, and your life will reflect that respect. Number 7, kill time-wasting habits that slowly destroy your future potential. The biggest threat to your future is not always failure, mistakes, or challenges. The biggest threat is often the small, repeated habits that waste your time without you noticing. They seem harmless in the moment. You tell yourself it's just a few minutes, just one more scroll, just one more distraction, just one more break. But those habits pile up. They eat away at your energy, your focus, and your opportunities. Slowly, they destroy the potential you carry inside. The hours you waste today could have been the foundation for skills, knowledge, and progress tomorrow. If you want to secure your future, you must kill those time-wasting habits before they kill your potential. Time-wasting habits are dangerous because they grow silently. You don't realize how much of your life they consume until years have passed. Checking your phone every 5 minutes becomes hours lost. Watching endless shows night after night becomes wasted months. Spending your day in meaningless conversations becomes years of unfulfilled dreams. These habits don't announce themselves as destructive. They disguise themselves as entertainment, relaxation, or harmless fun. But the truth is, every wasted habit steals from the future you say you want. Each time you give in, you are trading growth for comfort, trading progress for emptiness. The first step to killing time-wasting habits is brutal honesty. You must be willing to admit to yourself where your time is going. Many people pretend they don't know, but deep down they feel the guilt. They know they are wasting hours, but they avoid confronting it because it forces them to change. Honesty is painful, but it is necessary. Write down how you spend your day. Track where your minutes go. Face the reality of This truth is not meant to crush you. It is meant to wake you up. Once you see clearly how much time is wasted, you can begin the process of replacing it with actions that serve your future. Discipline comes next. Killing bad habits is not just about stopping something. It's about replacing it. If you try to quit a habit without filling that space, you will return to it. For every wasted habit, create a productive alternative. If you spend hours scrolling, replace it with reading. If you waste evenings in front of screens, replace it with learning a skill or planning tomorrow. If you waste mornings in bed, replace it with exercise or study. The key is substitution. You don't eliminate habits by willpower alone. You eliminate them by building stronger, more meaningful ones in their place. Another way to kill time-wasting habits is to raise your standard. When you decide that your time is too valuable to give away carelessly, your habits begin to change. You stop entertaining meaningless distractions because they no longer match your goals. You stop saying yes to pointless invitations because you respect your future more than someone else's comfort. Standards are powerful because they draw a line. They remind you that your life is not a game, that your potential matters, and that wasting time is unacceptable. People who achieve at the highest levels are ruthless with their standards. They don't tolerate wasted hours because they know every wasted hour is a step backward. You must also understand that time-wasting habits are not neutral. They weaken you. Each time you give in, you train your mind to choose comfort over effort. You make laziness easier and discipline hard. Over time, this rewires your brain. You become someone who avoids challenges, someone who escapes instead of confronts, someone who settles instead of rises. The longer you live this way, the harder it becomes to break free. That is why urgency is critical. Don't wait until tomorrow to address your habits. Don't assume you'll naturally outgrow them. You won't. You must decide now to cut them off before they solidify into your identity. Look at the successful and the unsuccessful. The difference is not intelligence or luck. It is habit. The successful protect their time. The unsuccessful waste it. The successful are intentional. The unsuccessful are careless. The successful act with purpose. The unsuccessful drift with distraction. Your habits today will decide where you end up tomorrow. Your habits waste your time. Your future will reflect that waste. If your habits respect your time, your future will reflect that respect. The choice is not about a single day. It is about the pattern you build across years. Killing time-wasting habits also requires courage. You will have to step away from people who encourage those habits. Friends who waste time will not like when you change. They will pressure you to return to old patterns, to spend hours in idleness with them. If you give in, you will stay. If you resist, you will feel lonely at first, but that loneliness will be replaced with progress. True friends respect your decision to grow. Those who don't respect it were never invested in your future. You must be willing to sacrifice approval to gain control of your time. Another powerful tool against wasted habits is accountability. Tell someone you trust about the changes you want to make. Ask them to check on you. Share your progress. Accountability makes it harder to fall back into old patterns because you know someone is watching. Even better, hold yourself accountable by tracking progress. Write down what you accomplished each day. Seeing growth builds pride, and pride strengthens some. Accountability creates momentum, and momentum kills wasted habits. You must also recognize that your future potential is not unlimited. You have talent, but talent means nothing if you waste it. You have dreams, but dreams mean nothing if you don't act. Time-wasting habits strangle potential because they prevent action. Potential is fragile. It must be developed daily, or it disappears. Every hour you spend on useless habits is an hour stolen from the person you could become. That is the reality. Your future is waiting, but only if you protect it by guarding your time. It comes down to this. Every habit you keep is either building your future or destroying it. There is no neutral ground. You must choose which direction you are going. If your habits waste your time, you are moving away from your goals. If your habits use your time, you are moving closer. Killing wasted habits is not easy, but it is necessary. Each time you cut one, you gain back a piece of your life. Each time you replace one, you move forward. Over time, the effect is transformational. The reward of killing time-wasting habits is freedom. Freedom to use your hours on what matters. Freedom to build the skills, relationships, and opportunities that shape your future. Freedom from regret, from guilt, from the frustration of knowing you could have done more. This freedom is worth every ounce of discipline it requires. You may feel discomfort at first, but that discomfort fades. What replaces it is pride, strength, and momentum. That is the power of controlling your habits. If you want a future filled with growth, respect, and achievement, you cannot afford to carry habits that waste your time. Kill them now before they kill your potential. Take back your hours, protect your focus, and use your life intentionally. The future belongs to those who respect time, and respect begins by eliminating anything that destroys it. Every wasted habit you cut today is a gift to your future self. To give that gift and watch your potential become reality. Number 8, face reality. That every second lost never returns. The hardest truth many people avoid is that every second, once gone, never comes back. You can recover money after you lose it. You can rebuild strength after you neglect it. You can even repair relationships after you damage them. But you can never reclaim time. It is the only resource that moves in one direction and never repeats itself. Each second you let slip is gone permanently, and no amount of regret, excuses, or wishes will bring it back. That reality should not frighten you. It should awaken you. It should make you take every moment seriously, because you are spending your life in those moments, whether you act or not. Most people drift through their days, unaware of this truth. They act as if time is unlimited, as if tomorrow will always come, as if the hours they waste have no consequence. They comfort themselves with the idea that they can catch up later. But the reality is that once a second is gone, it is gone forever. You don't get a refund. You don't get a replay. You don't get to pause the clock. Each tick is a piece of your life being spent, and whether you use it well or waste it, you cannot buy it back. That is why the most successful people value time above all else. They know its permanence. They understand its scarcity. They treat it as priceless. When you face the reality that every second lost never returns, you begin to live differently. You stop putting off important action. You stop giving hours to distractions that add no value. You stop surrounding yourself with people who waste your energy. You recognize that your time is your life, and you become protective of it. You say no more often. You plan with purpose. You live with urgency. You no longer allow others to decide how you spend your hours, because you know those hours are your responsibility. This truth also changes how you see procrastination. Many people delay tasks because they believe they can always do them later. They say, "I'll get to it when I have more energy," or "I'll start when I feel ready." What they don't realize is that while they are waiting, life is moving forward. Seconds are leaving, and they never come back. That delay creates a debt that can never be repaid. You might eventually finish the task, but you can never recover the lost time. The cost is permanent. The person who understands this does not wait for perfect conditions. They act with what they have right now, because they know hesitation is expensive. Facing the reality of lost time also makes you more grateful. When you understand that each moment is one of a kind, you begin to value the present. You stop obsessing over the past because you know those seconds are gone. You stop worrying excessively about the future because it hasn't arrived, or you focus on what is in front of you because this is the only place life is happening. Gratitude for the present creates clarity. It keeps you grounded. It reminds you to use the moment instead of letting it slip. Another important shift comes in relationships. When you recognize that seconds never return, you become intentional with the people you spend time with. You no longer waste hours on shallow interactions that leave you drained. You invest your moments in people who inspire, challenge, and support you. You choose conversations that build instead of gossip that destroys. You give attention to those who matter, because you know every second you spend with someone is part of your life invested in them. If those relationships are empty, your time is wasted. If they are meaningful, your time is well spent. This truth also applies to personal growth. Every second you spend learning, practicing, and developing yourself is an instant that every second you waste on distractions is a withdrawal you can never replace. Too many people spend years ignoring their potential, assuming they can get serious later. But those years never return. They wake up one day older, realizing they squandered opportunities that cannot be recreated. Growth requires consistent use of time, and every second matters. Even short bursts of effort add up when used well, but they add nothing if wasted. One of the most powerful realizations is that time treats everyone equally. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or how wealthy you become. You get the same seconds as everyone else. The difference lies in how you use them. Some waste them without thought. Others treat them as sacred. The ones who treat them as sacred lead lives of meaning, achievement, and fulfillment. The ones who waste them live with regret, frustration, and emptiness. The equality of time makes it the greatest measure of responsibility. It asks you daily, how will you use me? When you face the reality that seconds never return, excuses lose their power. You can no longer tell yourself, you will fix things later, because later may never come. You can no longer blame circumstances, because while you complain, time keeps moving. You can no longer pretend waiting is harmless, because you see the permanent cost. This awareness strips away illusions. It leaves you with one choice: act now, or lose forever. That choice is uncomfortable, but it is freeing. It puts your life in your hand. The feeling of wasted time is one of the heaviest burdens a person can carry. People rarely regret what they tried, even if they failed. They regret what they never attempted. They regret the seconds they let slip through excuses, laziness, and fear. That regret cannot be erased, because those seconds are gone. But you can prevent more regret by facing this truth today. You cannot change what is already lost, but you can change what you do with the seconds ahead. Awareness is the key. Awareness creates responsibility. Responsibility creates change. Every second is like a choice between growth and decay. If you use it, you grow. If you waste it, you decline. The choice seems small in the moment, but multiplied over days, months, and years, it decides everything. That is why one wasted second is not harmless. It is a crack in your future. Enough cracks, and your future collapses. Enough wise choices, and your future becomes strong. Every second is a building block, and you are building something meaningful, or letting it crumble. This truth should make you serious, but not fearful. Fear of lost time can paralyze you, but seriousness can focus you. The goal is not to panic over every second. It is to value them enough to use them wisely. Use them for action, growth, love, learning, building, and living fully. Waste none of them on excuses, bitterness, or endless distraction. Each second matters, not because it is long, but because it is final. Once gone, it never returns. Your life will be the sum of how you spent your seconds. Each one adds up, creating either a life of meaning or a life of regret. You cannot buy more. You cannot borrow. You cannot delay. You can only use what is in front of you. The clock does not stop, and neither should you. Face the reality that every second lost never returns, and you will live differently. You will live with urgency, with gratitude, with intention, and in doing so, you will create a life that is not wasted, but fulfilled.
Number 9, train your mind to act faster than your doubts. Doubt is the enemy that lives inside your head. It whispers hesitation, it feeds fear, and it convinces you to wait when you should move. Doubt does not appear after you fail. It appears before you even try. It slows you down, steals your courage, and makes opportunities slip away. The people who achieve in life are not those without doubt. They are the ones who act before doubt takes control. To win in life, you must train your mind to act faster than your doubt. If you wait for doubt to disappear, you will never move. But if you move before it grows, you defeat it every time. The reason doubt feels powerful is because the mind is quick at creating excuses. The moment you think of doing something important, your brain begins to flood you with reasons not to. It tells you it's risky. It tells you it's too hard. It tells you you're not ready. These thoughts are not facts. They are protective mechanisms built to keep you safe in your comfort zone. If you give them time, they grow stronger. The longer you sit and think, the louder doubt becomes. That is why speed matters. Action cuts through hesitation. Movement silences fear. A quick step forward leaves doubt behind. Training your mind to act fast requires practice. You cannot wait until the moment of fear to decide. You must build the habit daily. Start with small choices. When the alarm rings, get up immediately instead of debating. When you know you need to start a task, begin at once instead of waiting for the perfect move. When you think of a positive action, do it before your mind creates resistance. Each time you act quickly, you are rewiring your brain. You are teaching yourself that action comes first and doubt comes second. Over time, this becomes who you are. A person who moves instead of hesitate. The cost of waiting is high. Every second you hesitate gives doubt more control. You miss chances. You let fear grow. You waste time in endless thinking. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they delay until opportunities vanish. They overthink. They second guess. They stall, and then it is too late. Acting faster than your doubts protects you from this trap. It keeps you sharp, decisive, and forward-moving. You may not always be perfect, but you will always be ahead of the person who waits. Speed of action also builds confidence. Each time you act, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fear. That proof builds belief, and belief makes the next action easier. Confidence is not built by waiting until you feel certain. Confidence is built by acting in uncertainty. You move first, then confidence follows. Those who wait for confidence before acting never act. Those who act before confidence build it naturally. That is the difference between a life of progress and a life of hesitation. You must also understand that doubt is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that you are about to grow. Doubt appears whenever you face something important. That means you are on the right path. Instead of running from it, recognize it as a sign to move faster. If you wait, doubt will crush you. If you act, you weaken it. The sooner you move, the less power it has. Doubt feeds on inaction. Starve it with action, and it dies quickly. To act faster than your doubts, you must also control your entrance. Surroundings can either strengthen hesitation or fuel urgency. If you spend time around people who delay, who question everything, who live in fear, their doubts will feed your own. If you surround yourself with action takers, their energy pushes you to move. Choose environments
that reward speed, that celebrate progress, that encourage risk. When your environment pushes you forward, it becomes easier to act before doubt slows you. Another way to train speed over doubt is to focus on process, not outcome. Doubt often grows because you think too far ahead. You imagine all the ways it could go wrong. You fear failure, embarrassment, or rejection. But if you focus on the process, just the next step, you remove much of that pressure. Instead of worrying about the big picture, you focus on what can be done now. That focus makes it easier to act quickly, because the next step is always manageable. Movement in small steps breaks the grip of doubt. You must also reduce the time between decision and action. The longer you leave a gap, the more doubt fills it. Decide quickly and move immediately. This habit can be practiced with everything: responding to opportunities, starting projects, making changes. If you cut the delay, you cut the doubt. This does not mean being reckless, but it does mean trusting yourself enough to move when you know the direction. Overthinking is often disguised as preparation, but in reality it is avoidance. Preparation should lead to action, not delay. The truth is, doubt will never disappear completely. It is part of being human. The difference is in how you respond. Most people wait for doubt to vanish before acting, and as a result, they never begin. Strong people accept that doubt is present but act anyway. They know action is the cure, not waiting. Each time you act faster than your doubt, you shrink its power over you. Each time you hesitate, you strengthen it. The choice is always yours. Think about the opportunities that have passed you by because of hesitation. The conversations you didn't start, the projects you didn't begin, the risks you didn't take, all because you waited for doubt to fade. Now imagine if you had moved immediately, before doubt grew. Where would you be today? How much further ahead would you stand? That vision should be enough to push you forward now. The past is gone, but the present is still in your hands. Don't repeat the same mistake. Life rewards those who act, not those who hesitate. Opportunities rarely wait. They pass quickly and are taken by those ready to move. If you let doubt slow you, you will watch others succeed with the chances you ignored. That reality should make you sharp. Every time doubt arises, remind yourself, if I do not act now, someone else will. The world does not pause for hesitation. It moves with those who move. The greatest freedom comes when you no longer let doubt dictate your actions. You feel in control because you move regardless of fear. You feel strong because you know you can rely on yourself. You feel alive because you are engaged fully with life, not trapped in endless hesitation. That is what training your mind to act faster than your doubts gives you. It gives you power over your own destiny. The choice is simple. You can continue letting doubt run your life, keeping you small and hesitant, or you can take control, train yourself to act quickly, and live boldly. One path leads to regret, the other to growth. Every second you hesitate, doubt grows stronger. Every second you act, doubt weakens. Train your mind daily, choose action immediately, and you will live a life where doubt never wins. Number 10, respect time, because it is the most honest teacher. Time never lies to you. It does not exaggerate. It does not hide. And it does not make excuses. It moves forward at the same pace every day. And what you do with it always shows in the results of your life. That is why time is the most honest teacher you will ever have. You cannot argue with it. You cannot trick it. And you cannot escape the lessons it delivers. If you waste it, your life will reveal that waste. If you use it, your life will reward you with growth. Respecting time is respecting yourself, because the way you treat time is the way you treat your future. Many people talk about their plans, their dreams, and their goals. They speak confidently about what they want to achieve, but time always tells the truth. If you respect it, your actions match your words, and your life changes. If you disrespect it, your words remain empty, and nothing happens. Time exposes who is serious and who is pretending. It is the most honest test of discipline, because it will show exactly what you value by how you spend it. No matter what story you tell others, time will tell the real one. Think about how often people say they don't have enough time. They complain about busy schedules, long days, and endless demands. Yet, when you look closer, you see hours wasted on meaningless habits. The truth is not that they lack time. It is that they don't respect it. Time reveals this lack of respect through missed opportunities, unfulfilled potential, and constant frustration. On the other hand, those who value every hour move forward steadily. They don't need to say much because time shows their progress. They respect time, and in return, time respects them. Respecting time means understanding that it is limited. Every person is given the same 24 hours each day, but not everyone uses them the same way. The person who spends hours complaining will stay the same. The person who spends hours building will rise. The person who uses hours to learn will grow wiser. The person who wastes hours on distractions will stay. Time is fair. It gives equally, but what you do with it determines who you become. That is why respecting it is non-negotiable. You cannot expect success if you treat your hours casually. One of the hardest lessons time teaches is accountability. You can blame circumstances, people, or luck, but at the end of the day, your results reflect how you spent your time. If you spent it on laziness, you will have nothing. If you spent it on excuses, you will remain stuck. If you spent it on action, you will see progress. Time always delivers the truth. It does not protect you from reality. It exposes your choices. That honesty can feel uncomfortable, but it is also powerful. It gives you the chance to correct your direction before it is too late. Respect for time also means respecting small moments. Many people think progress comes only in large blocks of effort, but time proves otherwise. Minutes add up. Small daily actions add habits that last. Every decision to use 5 minutes wisely instead of wasting it teaches you discipline. Those small lessons from time create massive results over years. The person who values minutes becomes someone who accomplishes far more than the one who only values hours. Time teaches patience and consistency. And if you listen, you learn that nothing is wasted if you use it well. Another lesson time teaches is that it does not stop for anyone. You cannot pause it while you think, while you hesitate, or while you recover from wasted choices. It keeps moving forward. That is why regret is so heavy. It reminds of the hours you cannot reclaim. The only way to avoid that regret is to respect the seconds you have now. Time teaches urgency without speaking a word. It moves at the same speed every day, but it reminds you constantly that your supply is shrinking. You don't know how much you have left, and that truth should keep you awake to the importance of every moment. Respecting time also means preparing for the future while living in the present. Time teaches balance. If you only think about today, you may enjoy yourself, but neglect your future. If you only think about tomorrow, you may miss living today. The lesson is to use today to pay for tomorrow without ignoring the present. When you balance this, time rewards you. Your present feels meaningful, and your future feels secure. Those who disrespect time either live only for comfort now or worry endlessly about later. Both approaches lead to frustration. Respect brings balance. Another reason time is such an honest teacher is because it does not care about intentions. It only reflects action. You can say you want to get healthy, but if you don't spend time exercising, time will reveal the truth in your body. You can say you want to build wealth, but if you don't spend time working, saving, and investing, time will reveal the truth in your bank account. You can say you want strong relationships, but if you don't spend time nurturing them, time will reveal the truth in distance and disconnection. Time removes illusions. It teaches that what you do matters far more than what you say. The most successful people aren't necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are the ones who respected time enough to use it consistently. They understood that time was their greatest asset, and they treated it as such. They didn't wait for motivation to arrive. They moved anyway. They didn't waste years in a current. They chose discipline. They didn't let others steal their hours. They guarded them, and in the end, time rewarded them with respect. For time is not optional. If you want to live fully, it is essential. If you want to test yourself, look at how you used your last 24 hours. That record tells you everything about your priority. Did you respect your hours by working on your goals, building your health, and improving yourself? Or did you give them away to distractions, excuses, and laziness? Time does not lie, and your results are proof. If you don't like what you see, the lesson is clear. Respect your time more. Every day is a new test, and every test is fair. You either pass by using your time wisely, or fail by wasting it. The beauty of time as a teacher is that it always gives you another chance today. You cannot reclaim yesterday, but you can redeem today. Respecting time now can rewrite the rest of your life. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You simply need to decide that from this second on, you will value your hours as priceless. You will not waste them on meaningless habits. You will not hand them away carelessly. You will invest them in growth, in work, in love, in contribution. That respect will show in the results of your future. Respecting time changes your identity. You stop being someone who drifts and start being someone who directs. You stop being someone who waits and start being someone who acts. You stop being someone who complains and start being someone who creates. Time teaches you who you are, and when you respect it, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. Time is the most honest teacher, and if you listen, it will guide you to a life of meaning. If you ignore it, it will leave you with regret. The choice is always yours. Time never waits, and neither should you. If there's one truth to carry with you after this video, it's that every second is a decision. You can waste it and feel regret later, or you can use it and feel proud of yourself tonight. Your future is not built in years, it's built in moments, and those moments are happening right now. If you've been waiting for the perfect day to start, this is it. Don't hand your hours to distractions. Don't give your seconds to laziness. Put them where they matter. Build the discipline to protect your time and use it with purpose, because your life depends on it. If this message spoke to you, make sure you come back for the next video. Each one is designed to push you further, to keep you sharp, and to remind you what's at stake. Respect your time, and I promise, you'll never look at a single second the same way again.